¿Cómo confirmar el diagnóstico algorítmico? Las operaciones simuladas. Realizar simulacros de cirugía, soporte mecánico de los ligamentos PUL anterior, zona anterior, y USL, zona posterior. Si la prueba de la pinza alivia la incontinencia urinaria de esfuerzo, se confirma la causalidad pubouretral y zona posterior. Si la prueba con espéculo alivia la urgencia y el dolor, se confirma la causalidad uterosacral. Defecto de la zona anterior, PUL. Simulación de la operación con prueba, el soporte mecánico del PUL, evita la elongación y por tanto la incontinencia del esfuerzo. I will now say it in English. Here is a diagram of the bladder, the urethra, and normally it is closed, C closed, O open. If the pubourethral ligament is weak or loose, on coughing or straining, it extends downwards, and it means that the posterior muscles now can pull open the urethra, and when the patient coughs, the urine runs out. What the hemostat, la pinza, does is to mechanically support it, and that stops the urine running out and restores the closure mechanism. Now, this is a very famous film from my friend Paulo Palma, and you will see that when the patient coughs, she loses urine. Now, the pinza, the forceps, goes immediately behind the symphysis, immediately behind, and she's coughing, doesn't lose any urine, and here, when it's taken away, then there it is. And here it is here. He put the hemostat immediately behind the symphysis to support the mid-urethra and to stop the urethra being pulled open. De la zona posterior USL, la prueba con espéculo demuestra la causalidad del dolor pélvico crónico y la urgencia. El espéculo sostiene mecánicamente la N, receptores uretraliales, para controlar el impulso, y las USL para controlar el dolor en 70 to 80% de las mujeres. Now, this is a very easy test to do, and you can do it in the clinic. So, if a patient has chronic pelvic pain or urgency, now I want you to look here. These are the visceral plexuses, and it is the origin of chronic pelvic pain. They are supported by the uterosacral ligament 2 centimeters before the USLs attach to the cervix. If the USLs are loose, these can fire off impulses to the brain, and they are perceived as pelvic pain from the end organ. The speculum also supports the stretch receptors, the urothelial stretch receptors, so that when the hydrostatic pressure comes down on these, it stimulates them to send impulses to the brain, which are interpreted as urgency. And these can occur with looseness either in PUL or in USL. Now, dolor pélvico crónico, los ligamentos uterosacros, USL, débiles no pueden sostener el plexo visceral, VP, visceral plexus, que envía impulsos que se interpretan como dolor, urgencia. Las USL laxas debilitan las fuerzas musculares del PLMA. So, if these are loose, then the muscles which contract against them have a weak contractile force, and they cannot stretch the vagina backwards to support the urothelial stretch receptors. La vagina no puede estirarse para soportar los receptores del estiramiento en emite impulsos aferentes que se interpretan como impulso. Now, why we call them operaciones simuladas is that they can support the uterosacral ligaments, and it can predict quite successfully that if you repair the uterosacral ligaments, and I will show you that later, you can improve or cure the chronic pelvic pain and the urgency at the same time. Let me repeat. Operaciones simuladas, they simulate what we do in the operating theatre. They support mechanically the uterosacral ligaments, and when you repair the ligaments by suturing, then it supports the visceral plexus and supports the impulses which are interpreted as pain. But also, when you repair these, then it restores the contractile force of the muscles, and they can stretch the vagina to support the urothelial stretch receptors and prevent the afferent impulses, which are interpreted as urgency. Now, what do you do if a patient comes to you with urgency and chronic pain and she does